Welcome back. In this demonstration, we're going to start this koi watercolor painting. You can see the two fish in here. We just got done watching a PowerPoint about koi fish and their symbolism and their colors and what they look like swimming in a koi pond. And we talked about balance and how with our two fish that we're going to be making, we want to create a nice balance in our picture. Okay, so to get started, we are going to use one sheet of 100-pound watercolor paper. And you're going to start by writing your name. I'm going to write Mr. Lundgren because that's my name. And then write your grade or section, and then write your homeroom teacher. Okay. Once you have that done, flip your paper over, and we'll get started with our drawing on the front. Now, as we get started drawing, you'll see that those two like C shapes, one on this side and one on this side, are not necessarily symmetrical. They're asymmetrical, but they kind of have that same curviness. And they're bringing our eye right to this centerpiece here. Okay, so if you start with just these first two curvy lines, that'll set up our fish nicely. Then we'll start with this fish on this side. Now, if you'd like to, you could have the head here and a head here, or have both the heads at the top or both the heads at the bottom. You're just going to have to kind of change up as I draw. Now, if this is the beginning of our head here, our body is going to come kind of diagonal out, curve around for the belly, and then come back to the C, like to the tip of the point there. Okay. Now the head for the other part, you're going to make a little mouthpiece here that's like a little flat, and then you're going to kind of do the same thing. You're going to kind of curve out for the belly, and then curve in towards the center. And actually, I want to change that line a little bit more like that. Okay. So make sure if you erase, you press hard and get all of the pencil line out. Okay. Now that's our body. And for the fin, up here, I'm going to start right here on the diagonal piece. And I'm just going to kind of go up, curve around for the top, and bring it back towards the body here. So we have that little triangle piece that used to be right in here, kind of flowing right into the tail. Now I'm going to take my eraser and I'm going to erase that inside piece so we don't see it in there. All right. Now for the fins, you're going to want to put one fin on this side, and the fins come out a little bit behind the head. If this area is here is the head, they come out a little bit behind, and we're going to turn this one so it's a little bit, and you can kind of sometimes see little wavy, wiggly parts of their fins. But you want to make this one a little bit smaller and this one over here a little bit bigger. So I'm going to swoop this one out a little bit and wiggle it back over to that side. And actually, I want it a little bit thinner, like that. Now, one thing you can do is if you want to, you can overlap this one in like that and erase this line so it looks like that fin is on top. Okay. Now, as we get started on this fish is going to be tilted ever so slightly up because its mouth is coming out of the water. So you're going to put a little curved line here and a straight line down there for the mouth, and then the oval for the eye about here, and the oval for the eye about here. Okay, now depending on where you put those might make it look tilted one way or the other. Okay, so that's our first fish. The second fish is going to be here. And like I said, if you want the head up here, you can. If you want the head down here, you can. You're just going to have to kind of manipulate it as we go. I'm going to start by putting the little mouth area here. And then I'm going to draw curving out for the head around for the belly, and back to the tip of the tail like that. Okay. Now this one, on this side, I'm just going to edge the head in a little like that, and then follow the body line all the way back there. Now this one, his head is kind of just tilting more to the side because he's twisting a little bit more. For the tail, then we're going to do the same thing that we did over here. You're just going to kind of start a little bit before this, curve up, down, wiggle around a little bit, and come back to the body. Okay, then I'm going to erase that inside piece. Okay, I'm going to put the eyes in for this one, and I'm going to put this eye kind of right here, this oval for the eye here, and this oval for the eye, like almost right at the edge because he's twisted his head a little bit. Okay, we're not going to see the top of his mouth here because this one's still underneath the water. And his fin, it's going to kind of come diagonal out this way and then wiggle back onto a diagonal that direction. This one here, the fin is actually going to kind of come out right here and twist backwards this way, and then it's going to be smaller because we're not seeing all of it. It's going to be wiggled back like that. Okay, so there's kind of the beginnings, the foundation of my composition. Now, before we move on to the next step, I want you to take an eraser and just lightly erase. First, like for sure, erase hard right here in the middle where that like guideline was to begin with, because we don't want to see that in the end. All right, and then we also want to take the other lines and just kind of gently erase them. So you'll see in the video, if I go like that, it's really hard to see the pencil line. But as I'm looking at it with my normal eye, I can see that really well, because once we get started with the oil pasteling, we don't want to see our pencil lines. So just lightly erase them. You still want to be able to see them, but you don't want to have them be so dark. Okay? And that's how you finish the drawing for our koi water pond.